The most extraordinary kidney transplant surgery.
Yes, absolutely amazing. So an 8-year-old girl has become the first ever child in the UK to receive a special type of kidney donor regimen. So normally what we do is we give somebody else's kidney as best matched to their body as we can make it, but still the body will reject it because it's not part of you. So for the rest of their lives they have to take anti-rejection drugs. Now those anti-rejection drugs suppress your immune system, so they come with other problems. They make you more immune to at risk of infection, and they can actually damage some of the organs.
Do you have to have them for the rest of your life?
You do.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a really big thing. So we have a little girl here who's really quite poorly. She's got an inherited genetic disease, which means that her own body has attacked her kidneys and her lungs actually, but her kidneys in the main, and she needs new kidneys. She's on dialysis nearly every day of the week. There she is, look at her.
Oh look.
Bless her.
Sweet.
And so being on dialysis nearly every day, sometimes 5 times a week, is really debilitating. You have to sit for hours hooked up to a machine. So she's losing her childhood. She needs a kidney replacement. So this time what they've done is they've actually used chemotherapy to completely wipe out her immune system, so it doesn't work anymore. It's not there, it doesn't exist. They've then given her stem cells from her mother, who's going to be the donor. She then rebuilds in her body a new immune system, which is actually her mother's immune system. It's not hers anymore. She's got a new immune system, and then her mother donated the kidney so that her body didn't reject it because it thinks it's its own kidney.
Does it cause problems within her body, though, for all the existing organs?
It's a really good question, James, and that is a question going forward that we would have to look at. Does that immune system then look at all of her organs and say, oh, we don't like you? Time will tell on that, but hopefully not, because people have been having bone marrow transplants from strangers for quite some time. So this is fascinating, and there are still questions to be answered. It's not right for everybody, but for this little girl who really couldn't take the anti-rejection drugs, it really means the world. She's now off dialysis. She's going to lead a more normal childhood where she can actually just grow and develop without being hooked up to machines every single day of the week. And I think it's really exciting for the future.
I think it is absolutely extraordinary, and as people often say, we live in the future. I mean, I think we
This is good medicine.
I think it is good medicine. I mean, I genuinely hope it works. It's a potentially heartwarming story. I think it just shows the incredible health advancements that are there. But on the other hand, I think it does throw up questions about ethics and various other things, I'm sure. But on the other hand, as you say, if you're able to avoid those sort of debilitating drugs and the risks that they can cause, that could be it.
But also, don't forget, James, the other benefit of this is many relatives would donate their organs to their loved ones, but they're not a match. So they can't even do it, but this way they could.
Well, let's bring in Lynn Holt, retired transport coordinator, into the conversation. Lynn, good morning to you.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm a transplant.
Transplanting, yeah, I don't know why somebody's... Yes, OK. No,
it's OK, everybody does.
Everybody, no, somebody said a transport here, and I just do what I'm told. Just shows how little my brain is functioning at any particular moment in time, then. Retired transplant coordinator. So, that must be an extraordinary job that people, I'm assuming, they are on the waiting list, and you are trying to do that match.
We are waiting really for donor families to say, yes, please use our loved one's organs. And then I get that phone call from a donor transplant coordinator. And that's the beginning of the whole journey, really. And a very privileged job to be in. So I'm really thrilled to read about this little girl. But bone marrow transplant, stem cells, that's been happening anyway, as have kidney transplants. And for this little one, she's had the two put together, and with amazing results, it would appear.
Yeah.
So,
Lynn, I mean, Lynn, your job is amazing, and I know that because I've seen the joy that families get, and obviously the sorrow from the families that are having to donate their loved ones' organs. But we still bury far too many people every single day of the week who are waiting on that list for an organ, don't we?
yes, we do. And the tragedy really is that the families, mainly not aware of the loved one's wishes, they refuse to give consent. So if more people talk to their families now, if they wish to save lives after their death, and just let them know that, then families will be able to support that that wish. With this little girl, amazing because her mother is a live donor, And live donation is so essential. So, you know, that's something which is a willing gift from someone who's still alive. And we even have the altruistic donors who want to donate. They don't really know who to, and that gets organised. And because, you know, you only need one kidney. So altruistic donation is also possible and very easy to organise.
Do you think this could save lives in the future, lives that would have been buried because a match wasn't found, Lynn?
Well, this little girl was obviously more complex because of her lack of immune system at the beginning of all of this, which is where the stem cell transplant came in and helped her to develop one. For the majority, they will be on immunosuppression, anti-rejection drugs for the rest of their lives. But because of her immune system being from the mother and the kidney, she doesn't need the drugs anymore. Most people will need the drugs, and yes, they have side effects, but we've had a 50-year-old kidney transplant celebrate this year, and heart transplants are nearly 40 years post-transplant, all on rejection drugs, so it can continue.
Indeed, but surely this opens the door for us, because we can actually, via chemotherapy, wipe out someone's immune system and replace it via a bone marrow transplant. So this opens the door for those people to do that and have a live donor from someone in their family that they wouldn't have been able to have.
Absolutely, yes. It does raise the risks, as this child's had to suffer through chemotherapy, radiotherapy.
Yes.
So to survive to transplant is even more risky with what happened to Aditi. But she's a success story, and it does open the door.
She is.
Which is wonderful.
I think the message that you're giving us loud and clear, Lynn, is that people should talk about this with their families so that their families know their wishes and can use them. And I can give an example for my family. My mum's brother died, sadly, when he was early 20s, and his organs went to about 22 people, because I think people don't realise that actually they don't just use hearts and kidneys, they use tendons and corneas and all sorts of things. So it is a fantastic gift, and it brought my mum some solace in
it is, but there's a bit of me that I don't want to be sliced and diced when I'm done. Is that wrong? I mean, Lynn, tell me, give me the case as to why I should perhaps put myself up for organ donation, even though I feel as if being sliced and diced is not something I feel comfortable with.
You'll be dead. You won't feel anything.
Because you're dead, you won't have anything to think about, but your family will definitely benefit, with great comfort to knowing you saved so many lives or enhanced lives, and all those recipients and their families will benefit. What a great gift you will be giving.
A great gift. Who wants to live forever? There we go. Lynn Holt, retired transplant coordinator. Finally, we got that right. Thank you so much for joining us here on Talk. Fascinating conversation and a wonderful story there.